Okay, let's go. Look, we're going to continue on in chapter 20 in the permanent waving department of it because chapter 20 has uh, is basically about chemical technical survey. We know that. So right now we're in the permanent waving portion of the book. Let's see. What am I learning? We're learning today about the purpose of neutralization in permanent waving. The purpose of neutralization in permanent waving. Matter of fact, there are two purposes in the neutralization which we're going to discuss on today. Also, why am I learning this? To know what stops the action of permanent waving, to be able to provide that service, to start it, know what started, and to know what stopped it. And the neutralization process is basically what stops it. And we're going to talk specifically about the two stages of neutralization. How would I use this? Well, we will use this in providing a permanent wave service. It's all part of it. So this is just another part of providing the permanent wave service. And then how would I be assessed? Okay, this is the assessment that we're going to use. Okay, the do now. Watch this now. Listen. Get this. This assessment is for extra credit. Okay, and it's going to be 5 extra points to apply to whatever you want to apply to. If whether it be a practical, whether it be your workbook, whether it be a test, going to be 5 extra points to apply it to whatever area that you want to apply to. Now this is the do now. Now this is what you need to do to get those 5 extra points. Okay, show me in your composition books. Okay, uh, and this is the information I'm looking for. What should you check for, or what should you check for accurate, detailed information on the ingredients, the strength, and pH of permanent wave solutions? What should you check for accurate, detailed information on the ingredients, strength, and pH of permanent wave solutions? Okay, that's the do now for this particular lesson. On today, this lesson will be actually be applied to March the 19th, which is Thursday morning. So on your composition books, show me that answer and read it in your composition book, and you will get the 5 extra points to apply to whatever area you need most. 5 point goes a long way. 5 point could mean the difference between failing and passing, F or D, C or B, B or A. So 5 points can go a long way. Okay, now let's talk about the permanent waving neutralization. All right, it is called a thio neutralization, found in your books on page 578, and it stops again. It stops the action of waving solution and rebuilds the hair into its new curly form. Neutralization is a two-part process. Okay, performs two important functions. Any waving solution that remains in the hair is deactivated or neutralized, and the sulfide bonds that were broken by the waving solution are rebuilt. Those are the two functions in a nutshell, but let's go a little bit further in explaining those two functions. Okay, the neutralizer used in permanent waving are oxidizers. Okay, the most common neutralizer is hydrogen peroxide, but the one used in permanent waving is oxidizers. Kind of an oxymoron because uh, actually is called an oxidizer, but what it does in actuality, it removes the hydrogen that was added to it. And we're going to get into that just a little bit. Okay, the thioneutralization has two stages. Stage one, the first function of the uh, permanent wave neutralization is the deactivation. Okay, that's the first function of it, deactivation or neutralization, found on page 578 of any waving solution that remains in the hair after processing, and rinsing, the neutralization deactivates it. Let me go over this process. Once you get the hair rotted, okay, the process is in your book. Hair rotted, got the solution on it. You saturate every rod. You let the product stay in for the required amount of time that's recommended by the manufacturers on each box. Make sure you read the instructions on each box. Then once that is done, you want to rinse with water, that perm solution out, okay? And then you towel blot dry. Get all the excess water out before providing the neutralization product. Here's the steps, right? Right here, the steps. A successful perm takes time, practice, and patience, expertise as well. Proper rinsing and blotting are important. Proper rinsing and blotting is very important. Why? Always rinse the hair with warm water, never hot. Always use a gentle stream of water, never strong. Okay, never apply pressure to the rods while uh, rinsing or drying. Okay, always rinse the most fragile area first, the temple area, the nape area. Always check the nape area to ensure that you are thoroughly rinsing the bottom rods. Okay, always rinse for at least the recommended amount of time on the box or the manufacturer. And the least amount of time is 5 minutes. Sometimes you can go sometimes you can go more, but the least amount of time to rinse is 5 minutes. Okay. Okay. Then what you want to do again is smell the hair. You want to smell the hair to make sure that you have gotten out all of the permanent wave solution. Smell the hair. All right. And always, once you get that done, once you smell the hair, once you towel blot it, you want to also check for excess moisture. Because if there is any excess moisture in the hair, that kind of dilutes or dilutes the neutralization process. So you want to check for excess moisture as well. All right. And then if there are any rods that are loose in that client's head, you want to kind of tighten those rods back because we don't want them to fly loose and flop out of the client's hair before the service is over with. So if you have any loose rods, you want to retighten that in your client's hair. All right. Okay. So after that, then you have stage 2 is this, what the neutralization does. All right. It rebuilds the disulfide bonds by removing hydrogen that was added by the permanent wave solution. Okay. It rebuilds the disulfide bonds that was added. Rebuild that was broken down by the adding of hydrogen. The reduction agent in the permanent wave solution is it adds hydrogen. That's the active ingredients, the active reduction agent. It either adds hydrogen or removes oxygen. In permanent wave, it adds hydrogen. But the neutralization process removes that hydrogen that was added and it rebuilds the disulfide bonds that was broken down. Remember earlier in the chapter, we talked about the disulfide bond being the least amount but the strongest. Okay, that added hydrogen is what breaks those disulfide bonds. But the neutralization removes that hydrogen that was added, so it rebuilds the disulfide bond into a newly formed chiral. Okay, that is the stage of the neutralization. It stops the action of the perm solution and rebuilds the sulfide bonds. Okay, it stops the action of the permanent wave solution by removing the hydrogen, and then that in turn is called oxidation, really. And then it allows the sulfide bond to rebuild and to form its new chiral. All right, so thus is the two functions that the neutralization does. Stop that action of the permanent waving, and then it rebuilds the sulfide bond that was broken down by removing oxygen. Okay, now permanent wave procedures are in your book, step by step, for the basic permanent wave, first, of course, you got to wrap rod the hair. But prior to that, you should do a preliminary curl test. And that is taking a section of the hair and using the formula, the solution on a section. What that does, it gives you the correct processing time. It also gives you the results that you can expect throughout the entire perm set, and it also curl results from the rod size and wrapping technique you are planning to use. Okay, that's what the purpose of a preliminary. Okay, let me get that right. Preliminary test curl is on the hair. It helps you to get the correct processing time because they vary depending on the manufacturer, and it also shows you the results from the type of perm solution you are expected to use, and it also shows the results from the rod size that you are expected to use. Okay? Then, okay, after that, you go ahead and rod the hair. The procedures are found in your book. You go ahead and rod the hair, and there are several different ways you can rod it. You can rod with the basic permanent wave wrap, just the straight 9-section parting, straight down, straight back, straight to the sides. Okay, no, it's the straight set wrap. Then you have the curvature wrap, and you know that we have done all of these just about. We have done the straight one, just a 9-section parting, straight wrap. We have done the curvature permanent wrap. Okay, we have done the brick lay permanent wrap. So you're going to go back over this in this class as well. We're going to revisit all these wrapping procedures, and then we haven't done the weave technique. That's one technique that we hadn't gotten around to, but we will get around to the weave technique, and that's just using zigzag partings to divide the base area. But we have also done the double rod wrap or the piggyback wrap. We've done that, and we know what the purpose of that is for long hair. You use the two rods. They can be the same size or different size. One large, one small, could be varying size, but they can also be the same size. And it's basically for long hair. All right. And then the spiral wrap. We've done the spiral wrap. We haven't used this sponge rods yet, or the sponge or the connecting rods, but we have done the spiral wrap with just the basic regular rods, and that is because the hair is wrapped at an angle other than perpendicular. Of course, those that have done it in the class, and you know the angle that we use, and then you come out with Shirley Temple type style as well. Okay. Uh, One more thing I want to cover. There is also something called a partial perm. That's for clients that do not want their entire head perm. They just may want part of it, as the term is partial perm. They just may want the top part, and then the rest of the hair may be too short for perming. But you can do a partial perm for clients that do not want the entire head curl, but just a part of a curl. All right, that can be used for both male and female. Now, I want to let you know that women aren't the only ones that get perms. Men get perms as well. Just do not assume that it's for women only, but men also get perms for different reasons. For added texture, for fullness, for style, for low maintenance. You know, that's something for most men that only a perm can provide. So men do get perms as well. A couple of safety precautions we want to go over. Then we'll be done for this lesson. Let's see. Do not give a perm to any client who has experienced allergic reaction. Okay. Always examine the scalp before the perm service. Do not perm hair that is excessively damaged or shows signs of breakage. Do not attempt to perm hair that has been previously treated with hydrogen relaxer. So if a person has a relaxer on their hair, they can't get a perm. It will not take. And vice versa. All right. Also, if there is a possibility of metallic hair color that has been previously used on the hair, perform a test for metallic salt, and that is found in your book as well. We'll talk about that the next time we're together. Let's see, something else I want to cover. Always apply a protective barrier around the client's hairline and ears prior to applying permanent waving solution. Okay? So, real quick, the procedures, you're going to rod your client up, with the end wraps of your choice, which one is required, single, double book. Once you get a rod up, you're going to pick that hair to stabilize the rods, put those picks in there. Then you're going to put your protective barrier cream around the hairline, all the way around. Then you're going to put that cotton all the way around, and then you're going to apply that solution as recommended after you know, this is all after you've done your client's consultation and you find out what particular perm to use. Again, remember, all hair texture may use different types of strength of perm, so you got to find out what that hair texture is. If it's fine, medium, or coarse, you got to use the strength that's related to that texture. You don't want to use anything too strong, and you don't want to use anything too weak. All right, so once you get that all decided, hair rodded, protective cream, cotton, apply the solution, let it process for the recommended amount of time, rinse it out, 5 minutes straight, warm water, with a mild strength or string. Towel blot every rod as dry as possible with the towel. Remove all excess water. Neutralize it. Again, the neutralization process is a two-function. It stops any remaining permanent wave solution that may be left in the hair. It stops the action of any solution that may be left in the hair after it has been rinsed, and then also it rebuilds the disulfide bonds in the hair. It removes the oxygen from it to rebuild the disulfide bond so it can form its new curl. All right. So we're gonna stop right there. We'll get back with you next time on the next lesson. Don't forget that do now assignment for that 5 extra points. It will come in handy when you find that you may need it. See you next time.